Hey, what up everyone, this is MandoAllDay back with another video, and in this video I'll be doing a build guide for Star-Lord. I'll be going over which uniques I use, which artifacts I use, medallion, as well as go over the powers I chose to use, as well as go over the talents and trades and hero synergies, and at the very end show you my rotation and build guide in terms of how I was able to pass the cosmic trial with using 0 infinity points and with these powers. I know it can be a little bit confusing in terms of like the elemental shots, but it's not that bad. But again, I'll go over it briefly, but I'll just go over again my build guide or my build in terms of what I use to pass cosmic trial without using any infinity points. So let's get right into it. The first thing we're going to look at are the artifacts. The first artifact is Kevlar plated helmet. I'm using this for the critical hit rating to range attacks, deflect rating, as well as when you critical hit, you gain that plus fighting for 5 seconds. That's really good. It's probably best in slot, and I'll go over that a little later. But this is really good because that particular artifact, what it does is it increases the attribute of fighting 5 for 5, and Star-Lord is, as far as attributes, he is fighting and energy. So if you combine that, each one attribute is 4% damage increase. So 5 times 4, that's 20%. So that's 20% off of this one artifact of damage increase. So keep that in mind. Then I'm using Hand of Nimrod. I'm using this for the energy damage increase, attack speed, as well as recover 2.6 plasma ammo when you hit. This is really good. It does quite a bit of damage, or helps him with doing damage, but I'm mainly using this for the attack speed and also recovering the plasma ammo because he is very plasma ammo dependent. Then I'm using Ultra Medallion for the critical hit rating to energy attacks, health increase, deflect rating, energy damage rating, as well as for the +1 energy. Again, that's really good because of the attribute of the damage increase, and also 2, you gain 2.1 plasma when you hit. So again, that's really good. Next, I'm using Scroll Energy Rifle. I'm using this for the energy damage increase, critical hit rating, +2 energy, and then recover 3.7 plasma ammo when you hit with an energy power. So again, it's really good. To me, this is probably another best in slot for Star-Lord because of the energy damage, critical hit rating, +2 energy, and then recover plasma as well too. So again, that's just my opinion, but everyone's to each their own. Then I'm using Mayhem Demon Blood. I'm using this for the health increase, energy damage rating, and also when you get 10 stacks, you gain +2 fighting. Again, that's really good. You get the health, energy damage, and also you gain the +2 fighting after the 10 stacks. So not too bad. For the Forge, 800 defense, and I have it blessed to where I gain damage rating increase to energy powers and range powers. For Legendary, I'm using Macron Crystal. I'm using this for the plasma ammo increase, health increase, damage rating increase, critical hit rating increase. So again, this is very good for him, especially that plasma ammo, because he is very plasma dependent. So having that's really good. For Ring, I'm using Industrial City. I'm using this for the critical hit rating to energy attacks, health increase, critical damage increase, attack speed to energy powers, and also when you hit with an energy power, you gain 180 damage rating. So having that extra buff is pretty good too. So of the 180 damage rating, it's pretty good. For uniques, I'm using all of his uniques except for the slot 1. Before I used to use PowerPoints, and so before this biggest update, the way this particular unique offered was it granted +3 power points to all powers and then +6 power points to all range powers. And since Star-Lord is mainly range, combine the two, that's 9 points right there to all range powers. So it's very good for him. But since this new update, there's no longer power points. Now it's just talents and trades. So this unique isn't probably the best in slot. I mean, it's not bad, don't get me wrong, because it gives you critical hit rating, critical damage rating to bosses, damage rating to range powers, health increase. So it's still good. But personally, I would maybe check out his Star-Lord's slot 1 unique. I unfortunately do not have any of Star-Lord's slot 1 unique to compare it, but I'm pretty sure it's going to be good. But again, I'm using this. It's not a bad unique, but if you have slot 1 Star-Lord unique, I would probably go with that as well too, in case you don't have this. This is not a bad unique, but personally, I would probably switch to the Star-Lord slot 1 unique. That way I get the extra attributes to increase the base damage. So, but again, I would disclose that. And then costume, Star-Lord's Guardian of the Galaxy movie costume. The Cosmic Spirit, I have it to where I get +3 energy. That's very good, especially for his attributes or trait. Damage rating to range powers, and then crafted up fixes. Critical damage rating as always. Insignia, I'm using Insignia of Eric Grady. I'm using this for the when you critically hit, you and your allies gain 294 damage rating for 3 seconds, so it's decent. But also this offers critical damage rating and then damage rating to range powers. And then I have the pet. I have it to where I take 3% less damage from enemy area powers, 40 plasma increase, base energy damage increase. When you use a signature, power gain 15% power radius and 4% base damage rating for 10 seconds. That's pretty good. Then obviously +3 fighting attribute. So not too bad of a pet. For the powers I'm using, I am using here from top to bottom, left to right. I am using, not that, Elemental Shot, Kyber Grenade, Incendiary Grenade, nothing there, Gravity Grenade, Water, Orbital Strike, and Elemental Blast. And I'll go over the talents and traits after. Affinity points 0, as I stated. And then for Heroes Energies, Cable for the critical hit multiplier, Captain Marvel for the energy damage increase, Doctor Doom for the signature power increase, Hawkeye for the move speed and critical damage increase, Iron Man for the range and energy damage increase, Rogue for the health on hit and 1 spirit on any hit, Star-Lord for the critical multiplier or hit rating multiplier to energy powers, Vision for the range increase and damage to machines, War Machine for the 10 plasma, +1 fighting, and then Wolverine for the brutal strike and brutal damage. So now let's get into the talents and traits. The first row I chose to use autopilot. So what this does is a strafe, which is this particular power, and I'll show you what it looks like. So this power here, it does quite a bit of damage and does a lot of area. Okay, so when you decide to use autopilot talent, what this does is strafe can no longer be activated, but there's a 25% chance to use strafe when you hit with a power. So basically what this means is it's kind of like an think of War Machine and Iron Man's minigun, to where it automatically does damage, very similar to that, in the sense that whenever you hit a target, there's a 25%. Whenever you hit with a power, there's a 25% chance to activate strafe automatically. So again, Star-Lord does quite a bit of damage. Well, not so much. Well, he does quite a bit of damage, but his DPS is pretty high, so the likelihood of you activating strafe automatically is pretty high, and most likely you will. So that's why I chose autopilot. That way, I don't have to have strafe in my power slot, and I can have other powers as well in my hotbar. So that's why I chose autopilot. Second row, I'm using Incendiary Grenade. So what this does is Incendiary Cluster Bomb, which it looks like this, which is this one right here. I'll show you guys over here. Okay, and that's strafe right there. Okay. What this does is that particular power transforms into Incendiary Grenade. So meaning that now the power still does quite a bit of damage, but also does burning now, which does area damage. So it looks something like this. And that's strafe automatically, but look at that burning. So again, I chose it just for that particular reason. Another good one is Heavy Explosives. So what this does is when you use an ammo loader power or elemental ammo, either earth or earth or water, any of these two, it increases the damage of these particular grenades, whatever you choose, by 50%. So again, it's not a bad one, but me personally, I decided to choose Incendiary Grenade because I use that power quite often, and I wanted the area and burning. That's just my preference. Third row I'm using Elemental Intensity. Sorry. What this does is Elemental Blast does a bonus effect, which increases the bonus damage by 50%, but it increases the cooldown But the cooldown is reset when you use an ammo loader power, meaning when you use an ammo loader power such as either water or fire, air, or earth, the cooldown is removed. So basically resets it. So when I do my rotation, you'll see what I mean. But that's why I chose that. And then for the third, fourth row is orbital bombardment. So what this does is orbital strike, which is a signature. Cooldown is reduced by 5 seconds, but you get extra charges as well too. You get 2 extra charges. So what this does is it grants your signature to get an additional 2 charges as well too. So again, to me, I use a signature. It does quite a bit of damage, a lot of area damage. So to me, having orbital strike twice it's a plus. So I prefer to choose that. Then I'm using, for the last row, I'm using versatile ammo. I'm using this for the plasma ammo cost reduction by 30%, as well as ammo loader powers gain a buff of 50%. So you get 50% more damage to ammo loader powers, which again, they are water, fire, air, and earth. So you get the extra damage, but as well as ammo loader powers always critical hit and share a cooldown, meaning that if you decided to use all these ammo loader powers right here, and you have versatile ammo talent activated, all these ammo loader powers, they're going to share a cooldown. So if it's, I believe, 6 seconds, they're all going to share a cooldown. So keep that in mind. But the reason why I chose this is because the last portion of this talent, which is ammo loader powers always gain critical hit. Always deal critical hit, excuse me. That's very important because, as I stated before, a Kevlar plated helmet, when you critically hit, gain plus fighting for 5 seconds. And again, versatile ammo loader powers always critical hit, meaning that whenever you activate water or your ammo loader power, which is fire, air, earth, and you have versatile ammo talent activated, you're always going to critical hit, meaning you're always going to get Kevlar plated helmet's buff of plus fighting. Hence why I stated this is probably the best in slot for Star-Lord, because if you choose versatile ammo talent, always going to critically hit when you use ammo loader power, meaning you're always going to get the plus fighting and you're always going to get 20% extra damage. So I'm going to just show you guys what I mean. So right now, his damage is 140 and he has 18 fighting. So I'm going to use his ammo loader power, which is water, and you're going to see increase to 23, and it's going to go from 140 to 160%. 23, and then 160% right there. That's just the one power for 5 seconds. So hence why I chose this particular artifact, as well as I chose versatile ammo talent. Again, it's preference. These other ones are good too. Me personally, I prefer versatile ammo for that particular reason. And plus, I want to use one ammo loader power, so to me, having this is the best talent for me. Now let's get into the rotation. The rotation is pretty simple. So, for Cosmic Trial, what I usually do is I always start off with Incendiary Grenade. After that, I do Gravity Grenade and Cryo Grenade. So it looks something like this. Okay. After that, I use Elemental Blast. Then I use Water, your ammo loader power, where it can be either water or air or whatever. I use water, and the reason why I chose water is because what this does is when you activate it, it freezes your enemies. So it looks something like this. See, my enemy's frozen. Again, it's just a preference. You can use fire as well too. Nothing wrong with it. And again, I'm just going to show you what I mean. You can use fire, or you can use air. Come on, there you go. And the cool thing is, when you use these ammo loader powers or elementals, it changes your plasma, your elemental shot according to that specific ammo loader or elemental. So in this case, right now with air, let's switch to earth, and you're going to see that it's going to change not only the plasma loader, but as well as going to change the elemental shot, as well as change the elemental blast. See how it changed? Now the cool thing about this is that each each ammo loader power, when you activate it, does a little bit of different. So again, I would say choose what's best for you, but I chose personally to use water because I wanted that to freeze my enemies. So going back to my rotation, simple, and incendiary grenade, gravity grenade, cryo grenade. After that, I would use elemental blast, then do water or your ammo loader, or in this case water, whoever it can be for yours, and then you want to use elemental blast, because when you use elemental blast, it's in cooldown for 12 seconds, right? But when you use ammo loader power, it resets that cooldown. See that? Meaning you can reactivate it again. See that? And not only that, elemental blast does quite a bit of damage. And also too, because we chose elemental intensity, as it states here for this particular talent, the cooldown is resetted when you use a ammo loader power. Meaning when you use any ammo loader power, which again is the water, fire, air, earth, it resets the cooldown for elemental blast. Hence why my rotation goes incendiary grenade, gravity, cryo, then elemental blast, your ammo loader power, in this case water. That way when you activate this, it resets the cooldown for elemental blast, activate it, and then go back to your rotation. So it looks something like this in total. And then after that, you can keep shooting either with your elemental shot, or you can do your cooldown, your rotation again. See what I mean? Again, that's my rotation. But make sure you again, you can change the powers, or you can change them. But personally, I would highly recommend, if you decided to use not incendiary grenade, elemental intensity, I would highly recommend to always use elemental blast first before you use any ammo loader power. Meaning before you use water, or you can use fire, air, or earth, whatever, make sure you use elemental blast first. That way when you activate your ammo loader power, it resets the cooldown for your elemental blast, and then you can activate it and then do your rotation or whatever you want to do. But my suggestion is always do elemental blast first, then ammo loader power. That way when you activate ammo loader power, you can reset the cooldown for elemental blast, and again you can reuse elemental blast again. But only if you use elemental intensity talent, because if you lose something else, it's going to change. So again, just rather be clear with it and thorough. And that's really it. That's really my build guide for Star-Lord. I know it's a bit long, but again, I know some people can say it's a bit confusing. It's not too bad. Hopefully this video is helpful for you guys, and hopefully I explained it well enough to where you get a good understanding of how he works. It's pretty simple, pretty straightforward. He's very strong, especially being able to use signature twice. It's really good. So again, choosing orbital bombardments is really good in my opinion, because you can use a signature twice and do quite a bit of damage. But also too, using versatile ammo is really good, especially if you have Kevlar plated helmet, because you want that plus fighting. And yeah, that's it. This is my build guide for Star-Lord. If you have any questions, leave it in the comment section below. Any requests for certain heroes, again, leave it in the comment section below. I'm always up for it. I am working on Loki right now, but I do have another character coming in on Wednesday, cosmic draw video, and then the build guide will be up on Thursday. It's another hero. I won't say who, but yeah. Again, any requests for certain characters, leave it in the comment section below. If this video was helpful for you guys, again, let me know in the comment section below, or if you want me to explain it a little more thoroughly in terms of the ammo powers and so forth, again, leave it in the comment section below. If you want to keep up to date with my videos, or you want to support the channel, definitely do subscribe to the channel, because not only does it help the channel grow, but it also means a lot to me as well. And that's it. This is my build guide for Star-Lord. Again, hopefully it was helpful. Hopefully you guys like this build. Simple, straightforward. He is fun. I would say he's probably my top 10 in terms of most fun characters. So, but he's a bit weak, but he's not too bad. But overall, he is fun. So, yeah. Alright, you guys. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video, and on to the next one. Bye-bye.